Well, another weird bit of news is a big change in character for Ronnie Garvin at this time, who, by the way, just arrived in late 1988. So he's still fresh to the company, and they're doing this with him. We have this from The Observer. They did an angle with Greg Valentine and Ron Garvin. They had a match on TV during the first hour in which Garvin pinned Valentine in an upset. During the second hour, they had a rematch in which the loser had to retire from wrestling, and in this case, Valentine pinned Garvin. During the third hour, Garvin debuted as a babyface referee. So, Ted, do you remember Ronnie Garvin becoming a referee in the WWF? It became a big part of his gimmick.
I don't remember that. I do remember Ron Garvin, and Ron Garvin was a good worker.
Yes.
I mean, real good worker. I don't know, it just kind of surprised me. Ronnie
It surprised
Garvin.
me too, and I don't blame you. I wish I didn't have to remember it because it was dumb. This is a guy that Jake has said on a number of occasions that Ronnie is the greatest worker he ever stepped into the ring with. Jake will go on record as saying that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he's built his reputation. He's a former NWA world champion. He's a legitimate tough guy. And he's finally made it to the pinnacle of wrestling, right? The biggest stage in all of wrestling, the WWF. And they give him this shitty, stupid gimmick. They turn him into a ref. I don't know. Do you think why do you think Vince wasn't ready to put the juice behind a guy like Ronnie? Any idea?
I don't have any idea. It might be because back then Vince was all about big guys.
Mm.
We didn't have very many, like short guys. You might have some short wrestlers, but they were not your top of the echelon. Jake was big, I was big, Hogan's big, obviously Andre. The Warrior.
So all these big guys are floating around. And then Ronnie comes in, and Ronnie's really well built, but I think he goes maybe 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in there. Yeah. Not a huge guy. So yeah, that could very well be it. And it does kind of feel like, Vince, he's got this reputation that precedes him that he kind of makes his mind up about somebody early on and then pigeonholes them accordingly. Yeah. Would you say that's accurate? Like Vince will just kind of put his stamp on somebody and say, this is where that guy is. And then he just stays there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Unfortunate with Ronnie. I feel like there was a lot more meat on the bone.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, oh my gosh, he was a really good worker. I have a good story about Ronnie. We were in, Ronnie's a pilot.
Yes.
Had his own airplane.
Yeah.
He didn't fly all the time, but I remember we had a match in Alexandria, Louisiana, and I didn't even know how it came up, but he said he was flying back to Baton Rouge, and I said, you got any room on that plane for me? And he said, oh yeah. I had never flown with him. Well, when the promoter took us out to his plane, we're out in the middle of a field. I'm like, maybe I made a mistake. It was kind of like, where are the hell are we? And it literally, it was a road anyway, maybe a dirt road, but and what he did is we got in the plane and he had the promoter go all the way back down and turn around and point his car at the plane and leave the headlights on. So Ronnie could use the headlights as his target.
Holy smokes, man.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever fly with him again?
No. To be honest with you, he was a great pilot. Obviously, he was a very good pilot. So
he ended up doing it for a living after he left the WWF.
He like 13 years. Like a male something.
I know he was like a courier of some sort, like he'd carry supplies and whatnot. So yeah,
whether it was U.S. Mail or UPS or something. Yeah, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, life after wrestling, man, can't exist.
Man.